Nautilus, and that is different from Muzzy. So Amnesiac's going to have that early game.
The most one-sided out of any of the Warrior mirrors we're going to see.
Diana. And Amnesiac, it's a new day. He's down 0-1 in the overall standings. Still have a lot of Hearthstone to play over the course of 8 weeks. Double round robin group, so you have 16 matches. And Amnesiac has his backdrop set up correctly.
Yes,
nice.
he does. I think he got a lot of flack for it, not only from the community, or at least Twitch chat when I went back and watched, but also, you know, just a couple comments from the folks at Blizzard saying, hey man, we went through all this trouble to send you these very difficult to assemble backdrops so you have a nice clean look.
Do want to clarify, by the way, that it is 14 matches, not 16, because 16 would imply that you play against 8 other players. When there's 8 players in your division, there's 7 other players.
You don't play against yourself twice.
Aren't you always playing against yourself?
True. Wise words, Dan. Wise words.
Yes.
All right, well, as is the story of many of these game ones we've seen in Warrior Mirrors, Muzzy is at a quite a disadvantage. Without Archivist Elysiana, he has no inevitability, which means he needs to just truck along with pressure or find a creative way to win that's usually off the back of one of the booms. So Amnesiac, not really on him to apply any pressure, though it is valuable. But he can keep it defensive and have a defensive game plan, knowing that he'll win and succeed.
Yeah, he does have also the opportunity to draw cards because of it. Because he's so far ahead in the fatigue count, we saw this actually with Firebat. It's okay to draw cards since you're going to out-resource them anyways, assuming it ends up panning out exactly that way.
Yeah.
Muzzy picks up Town Crier, could also draw first. With his draw, you can see that he isn't afraid of it, and that's kind of what I like. You know, I don't really like the Warrior mirrors where neither player just plays a card. They just try to use the least impactful card in their hand, like a Warpath on an empty board. I want to be more engaged, more interaction, more tension,
more drama.
Caliber. More bombs. Yes.
That's all of those things tied into one. Bombs create tension. They create drama. They create big moments. They create 5 damage.
Yes. Upon draw. More violence, speed, and momentum. We don't really have speed here, but we have a lot of violence and momentum.
And honestly, we only have momentum like 20% of the time.
Is Hearthstone rated T? Or is it rated E?
For alcoholic references.
Just gonna stop there before I get fired off this broadcast.
No, it's rated T because we're allowed to reference alcohol, Dan. That's the rule.
Okay, that is the rule. I do find it funny that when we do host things in a tavern setting, but then, you know, we don't really explore beyond that. That's neither here nor there. This is not a complaint about the flavor of Hearthstone events.
I don't know, Dan. It seemed like you really wish we just got wasted every broadcast.
Not every broadcast.
That's what I heard from those
broadcast.
tones.
This is where I pulled out my
ones.
Incredible Hulk reference where it's like, that's my secret, TJ. And then that's where the fans nod in agreement. That makes a lot of sense. Dynamatic drawn, 4 health on the board. Seems good to me. 2 for 1. Not necessarily a clean 2 for 1 opportunity here. Amnesiac already did have the Dynamatic as well. Just good to play the card to the left so you obscure your information for your opponent. Small little tidbit, if you know that people play Deck Tracker, they also can usually see how long you've been holding cards on what turn.
Yep. So
you can utilize that information on both sides. For example, you saw Saiyan recognize that for about 6 or 7 turns, Delay wasn't playing like the entire half of his left hand or left side of his hand. And it's like, okay, well, he's probably just holding a bunch of random tech cards. Oh wait, maybe holding the Elysiana and the Baleful Banker, plays it, gets that.
Yeah.
So you know, when you play cards from your left, you're giving your opponent less information to work with.
Yeah, it's the same with Muzzy. He had the Militia Commander's opening hand, but last turn he decided to play the one that he got off Town Crier because he's guaranteed to have a Town Crier because he's played both, Militia Commander because he's played both Town Criers. So small things like that just kind of mess with your opponent's decision making ever so slightly.
It might or might not. Now, Amnesiac, he's kind of a classic soul. Yes, he's 18 years old and very rambunctious, but he actually likes analog writing as his deck tracker. It's something that I just saw him a lot do in Taiwan. I was like, dude, you know you can just download deck tracker and play. He's like, yeah, but I just like writing it down. It's a lot more like of a visual thing. I know it doesn't make sense, but like when he writes it down, I guess it just imprints onto his brain a lot more effectively.
Yeah.
And he was like showing me all his note-taking method. And he's like, yeah, this is like the Stanford note-taking method of like splitting into 2 columns. I don't know. He's the one trying to go to college. And I was like, okay. And I was like nodding in agreement, like this sounds like it makes sense.
In some kind of weird like short form that's indistinguishable to anybody but his own brain.
I don't know. It felt like it was like Ty Lopez trying to sell me some like golden 100% proof method to improve your Hearthstone play, and I just wasn't really registering it.
So Amnesiac,
and all of a sudden I'm signed up for 5 months of $19.99, subscribing to Amnesiac notes.
So he's not actually taking notes; he's just creating one giant complicated pyramid scheme.
Yes, it's my job to sell to you now, TJ. TJ, look how much money you could be making if you sell this program to everyone else. If the low cost of 14,000 dust, you can have this Control Warrior deck.
If you get 3 friends to sign up as well, you've already made your money back.
I don't write the rules. All right, Muzzy, all jokes aside here, because it's a little bit of a slow mid-game. Muzzy, it's the onus on him to develop, so by choosing the Omega Devastator, he's developing the strongest possible board to curve into Dr. Boom Mad Genius. And that does tend to be a factor here because Amnesiac does not have that hero card. And we've seen a few matchups that go this way. I think the most recent one was, Saiyan versus
the very last game, yeah.
Also, Swids versus Yarla earlier today. When one player goes the entire game without Dr. Boom Mad Genius, that does make up most of the difference. It doesn't matter if the Elysiana comes into play. Sometimes you just get so much board presence and snowball the advantage. Get there anyways. Amnesiac doesn't really have too much going on here. You can just play the removal game. I guess the good news is that the Arceus Elysiana going into his hand does mean that it can't get Hecklebotted out if Muzzy picks it up through a delivery drone or a Mega Assembly. Amnesiac not swinging the weapon in case he picks up the Blastmaster Boom. Does not have it.
Nope.
Yeah, normally you would say, yeah, Amnesiac's the one favorite in this matchup, but based off the way the hand texture is, to borrow an admirable hand texture.
Silky smooth hand. Amnesiac's is rough and calloused.
It's coarse.
It is.
Gets everywhere. Muzzy, his hand texture is looking really nice. He's got threats, he's got hand economy, he's got ways to build the board tension. I'm busting it all out, DJ.
Just get it, Dan.
Okay, then.
And he does have some huge draws.
Just have some huge draws.
So far in week 1, a non-Elysiana deck has failed to beat an Elysiana deck every time in Americas.
Okay, then.
Oh, that's great. And I like this Clockwork Goblin. Just shuffling it in and building a little bit of board presence. Definitely want a hero power this turn as well. Something Muzzy's got to evaluate, too, is freeing up hand space for these Omega Assemblies. It's time to pony up and get them.
Second Acolyte of Pain played onto the board as well. Might as well.
Sometimes when I go up against Dr. Boom, I feel like I'm playing against like Odd Paladin. Just like every hero power, they just generate like huge boards all the time. And like you wipe it, and then they just immediately develop right back. Of course, that's not always the case. Dr. Boom, Mad Genius is more of a reactive hero than proactive. But sometimes just like, there was like nothing on this board, and all of a sudden, a lot of threats for Magnetic, ways to draw cards, or even just pressure.
Yeah.
Amnesiac brawling.
It's his only copy of Brawl, but honestly, this is about as good of a brawl as you're going to get in the Warrior matchup. And Acolyte of Pain comes out the other end.
Yeah.
That's interesting to say the least, because...
Dude, he was ready for the pain, and he survived. His world must be upside down. No? Not a dad joke that you like? Amnesiac shuffles in another bomb with the Wrench Caliber. Still no sign of Blastmaster Boom or Mad Genius.
Sorry, Dan, I was meticulously keeping track of bombs. Can you re-explain your dad joke from the very beginning for me, please, with context?
You missed it. Oh, another Clockwork Goblin and a Brilliant Nullifier. Both interesting choices in this spot here. More bombs means more pressure for Amnesiac, especially without Dr. Boom.
This would be a good time for a master plan.
Does Dr. Boom Mad Genius have a Brooklyn accent?
He does.
What?
Yeah, he actually...
This guy's part of the Netherstorm and also from, like, the boroughs of Bushwick, Brooklyn?
No, Dan, he's actually from Manhattan. Get it right.
Lower East Side.
Hell's Kitchen.
But he hangs out in the Brooklyn ghettos because that's where he feels like he truly belongs.
Yeah, that's where he can experiment the most.
His true artistic side is unleashed.
That's right.
It's like, is that
This would be a good time
is that Dr. Boom Mad Genius or is that Joey? Yuki's best friend. I don't know.
Still no Mad Genius. But a nice life total. Only 2 bombs in Amnesiac's deck, so it's not like he's under too much heat right now. So he's got time. He does have the inevitability engine with Archivist Elysiana, so it's not like he's under any pressure to go for some sort of aggressive game plan.
I mean, he doesn't really have a very good aggressive game plan. When your game plan is hope that they eventually draw bombs, that's not a real pressure plan.
No.
He needs to get it through minions, but again, everything is more reactive. Dynamatic, Ziliax, Omega Devastator, Militia Commander, Ooze.
But that's
all
fine.
Reactive cards.
But that's absolutely fine.
I mean, it's fine,
For
but
now.
it's going to continue to... The gap is going to widen. Almost as much as the chasm between G2 and Team Liquid, TJ. Almost.
Light the fuses!
I see where your allegiance lies.
I'm only stating the facts, TJ. I'm not trying to analyze anything. I also lost track of the number of bombs.
That is now... Wait, who?
Muzzy.
Muzzy drew a bomb, so he has currently 3 in his deck. Amnesiac has 2.
Dynamatic seems perfectly fine in this spot. Dynamatic and Militia Commander available to win the board. It gives things for Amnesiac to do other than pass and let Muzzy develop. And you kind of do need to keep answering the threats, otherwise it's going to magnetize. And then run away with the board, and then you can't answer it. You don't have Shield Slam. Amnesiac might be doing that thing where you forget that you didn't end the turn. Nah, he's actually...
Play with no game sound, that happens more often than not.
Yeah. Nah, he's just using his time to analyze.
His Omega Assembly is kind of stranded now because Muzzy's been trying to empty his hand, but at the same time, Acolyte winning the brawl, you know, having a good Harrison target onto a Wrench Caliber.
Oh my gosh. Eternium Rover? Alarmobot? These aren't good mechs at all.
No.
Was he kind of doing the old Jackie Chan? Can't really understand what's going on here. Honestly, it's quite relatable. Muzzy dropping the piston. Acolyte of Pain. I mean, honestly, I think Amnesiac can just afford to draw cards here. Muzzy is...
They're even on bombs right now. They both have 3 in the deck. So,
right. So
these card counts are accurate. They are 4 apart in fatigue. Muzzy had double Town Crier earlier on. He also had a Harrison Jones on a weapon for a draw and an Acolyte draw. So, or 2 Acolyte draws. No, 3 Acolyte draws he's had because his first one drew 2 cards. Because he was able to trade it into a Town Crier. So, he actually has been cycling pretty heavily, whereas Amnesiac has only played a shield block. That's been his cycle.
No Acolyte here. Pretty curious by that. I guess
he might be waiting
to guarantee a better Acolyte, like Acolyte Warpath.
Yeah, he's got double Warpath still left in the deck.
Yeah, that makes sense. Makes sense to me. Another Clockwork Goblin or a Boom Reaver.
Boom Reaver, I don't know if there's many big minions left in the deck for Muzzy. He's got, like, Ziliacs.
That's pretty big.
Oh, no, he has Ziliacs in hand, along with Blastmaster Boom, all the way tucked there to the far left. So all the minions he has left in his deck are small. He's used his 1 Omega Devastators, both Militia Commanders, both Clockwork Goblins. In fact, the only minions he has left in his deck, I'm pretty sure, are Eternium Rovers. Everything else has been played. So Boom Reaver's actually just not that great.
Well, it's still a fat minion to mana 7/9.
Oh, yeah. Ziliacs to apply some pressure here.
It's pretty good pressure. 9 damage. We'll take the heal. Every little bit matters. Wow, that hold from Amnesiac paying off. Seems pretty good to me here. I don't really think he has a very good alternative besides the Ziliacs Omega Devastator combo. I think he'd much rather prioritize getting Dr. Boom Mad Genius up.
Yeah, he really needs that. Doesn't want to see that too far down in his deck either.
He's scared of the... I don't think he's scared of the bombs exactly, but it is going to hurt a lot if he draws a couple of them and they throw a 6 attack minion on board.
Well, Blastmaster Boom is fully loaded for Amnesiac. He has 4 bombs in Muzzy's deck.
Amnesiac has his fair share of bombs as well.
Yep, 3 in his deck, so...
I appreciate the hesitation here from Amnesiac because, yes, he could clear off his Warpath and get another card. He could also play the second Acolyte of Pain because his Acolyte's on board is almost certainly going to draw another card.
Hey, speak to me.
I like it. Now Muzzy can play that Blastmaster Boom and punch in. Can also take it even slower. He could play Clockwork Goblin and then Omega Assembly. Evaluate what mechs he gets. Maybe he gets another opportunity to magnetize further and press in.
I honestly think this might be the point in time for Blastmaster Boom. Amnesiac just drew cards. He also is drawing cards with these Acolytes that are on board almost guaranteed. So you know he's digging for for Dr. Boom Mad Genius. So if you play Blastmaster now, that delays it for a turn, and you might be able to continue that pressure by following up with the Mega Assembly.
True, true.
And trying to snowball that tempo to win the game, because that's what it's about. Muzzy's got to kill him. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. He can't try and out attrition at this point because of the Elysiana.
Oh, I see the wheels turning inside Muzzy's head. He's figuring it out. He's going with the Omega Assembly play. Looking for some high-impact minions. Weaponized Pinata. And a Beryllium Nullifier. All solid minions here. Not that the Pilot Reaper does anything. Bomb taken.
There's now 3 total in Amnesiac's deck.
Might be a Mega Devastator Ziliac situation here for Amnesiac to try and stabilize a little bit. He could also choose to shield block and then go for Ziliacs and Eternium Rover. Those are 2 of the first lines that I see.
Yeah.
Militia Commander might get more value here as well because you're able to squeeze in more mana efficient plays.
Yeah, he could go Ziliacs, Eternium Rover, and Militia Commander to fight for the board in the best way possible.
That's probably something I'd consider too.
But does want to cycle, try and find Boom.
3 mana, draw a card. Oh, that hurts.
So 1 bomb left remaining in Amnesiac's deck, and honestly, with 3 bombs and 10 cards remaining or 11 cards remaining at the beginning of the turn, it was very likely that he had drew at least 1 with that shield block. More than like a more than 50% chance. So it's almost half of his deck with bombs at that point. But still has a way to continue fighting back. Mega Devastator and second Shield Slam.
So now is the time for the Blastmaster Boom. You can fill up your entire hand.
You can also, there's only 1 bomb left though. That's the problem.
Oh, you're right. All the bombs are drawn.
Yeah, so there's 1 bomb left in Amnesiac's deck.
Forgot about
this. This is just an old school Dr. Boom.
This would be a good time for a master plan.
Sorry, that accent keeps tripping me up, man. Muzzy, in this spot, has the Beryllium Nullifier also to press in that big magnetized body. Oh yeah, I like it. Trade it in, and then do you Beryllium Nullifier or do you Blastmaster Boom? Both have really good cases. I mean, the thing is, your opponent doesn't have Dr. Boom Mad Genius, and he also just using a Mega Devastator. Chances are, this thing is sticking.
Yeah, Amnesiac has used his 1 natural copy of a Mega Devastator.
I want some real pants on this Pinata.
Yeah. He still can do it next turn. Amnesiac has used his only copy of Brawl. So there's not too much of a punish to any play, because Amnesiac's just pretty much out of removal. No Shield Slam as well, and no armor to even Shield Slam for Amnesiac. Can Omega Assembly hope for the Devastator, but he's at 13.
I wonder.
Dr. Boom Mad Genius in the bottom 5 for Amnesiac. This may be the only time that we've seen this kind of situation happen, where in the primary game, the non-Elysiana deck has been able to outpressure enough. We were waiting for it.
All right, Galvanizer Mechathune combos.
The problem is it's impossible to pull off.
Right.
Because he does have Elysiana. Because Elysiana adds cards to the deck, and you have to play it in order to activate Mechathune. So. Also, he's used both his Shield Slams.
Right. There's a Scrap Hound, Ziliacs. Good health recovery mechanisms here. Muzzy gets another Blastmaster Boom! So not only does Dr. Boom Mad Genius play himself, disproving TJ, he does it twice! Shield Slam, very convenient draw here. Shield Slam onto the Scrap Hound.
Absolutely.
Okay, Shield Slam on the Scrap Hound, and then just play Dr. Boom Mad Genius and Hero Power. That seems really
This would
effective.
be a good time for a master plan.
Yep, this is not your game. Sorry, Amnesiac. He's just laughing because he can't recognize.
I mean,
like, all right.
You can't help but laugh in that situation. Sure, maybe if it's like the grand finals of the Hearthstone World Championship, but even then, That's just funny stuff.
4-4. Muzzy even optimizing the push damage with the boom bot. And Amnesiac has another Omega Assembly. And
even like one Omega Devastator doesn't even save him here. He doesn't even get it.
that's the game. Mecha'thun has a white flag of surrender. Muzzy takes an early game lead, and that's very big for Muzzy because he needs it. He was also in the disadvantage with the deck lists.
Yeah. To sort of go infinite with at least for Alex Straza, Grom Hellscream, and Karen Bloodhoof, as well as his own Baleful Dust. I mean, this is just true control warrior right here. I mean, back in the day, Grom and Karen and Alex Straza were core to warrior. I mean, we almost reached like 20,000 dust costs for control warrior decks, you know, 3 or 4 years ago. So this is nothing, Dan. 16,000 dust, it's nothing.
Really? All right.
Nah, it's a lot. That is a lot. That is.
Yeah, that means you have like 10 legendaries worth of dust.
Yep.
All right, Amnesiac getting ready and set for his first turn. We specifically shortened the first turn timer length, so that way you don't have to think too hard about it. But Amnesiac gonna play his Town Crier on 1. It's usually the recipe for success. Same thing with Muzzy, picks up his own Town Crier, has the option of drawing it. With both players having the Archivist Elysiana, it's not going to be that impactful for the draw. Amnesiac only has 1 bounce though, right?
He does.
And Muzzy has 2.
That is correct. And both have decided to go for Baleful Banker as their bounce.
I'm assuming that Amnesiac will put Muzzy on that secondary deck, so it all comes down to how he's going to adapt to Muzzy's even greedier game plan.
I wonder.
It's greedy, but Amnesiac's is even more greedy, I feel. I think adding the second bounce is less greedy than adding Alex Straza, Grom, and Karen.
Probably right. Because at least the second bounce, you have uses for it outside of just the Elysiana. Sometimes you can just play it. Versus the Alex Straza and the Grom. They have very narrow use cases.
All right, Augmented Elec. One of the choices for Amnesiac to add into his tertiary deck. There's only 1 copy, so that's the only copy.
Kind of wonder if, I guess in this case, the bump doesn't really matter. If Amnesiac put this 1-2 into his opponent's 1-2, I was thinking, well, he could try and threaten to eliminate the Town Criers without taking any damage on his Elec, so that way Wrench Caliber is not that strong. But he knows that Militia Commander can come anyways. Health doesn't really, truly matter in that spot.
Dan, it activates Battle Rage.
Activates Battle Rage. You're right. Sometimes Elysiana does give you that Battle Rage, though.
It's usually not great because it goes against
What's now?
what you're trying to do by putting Elysiana in your deck, which is have a better game in Fatigue.
Right.
But who knows, Dan? What do I know?
You're a warrior expert.
Oh,
I must choose.
these days, Dan, I don't know what I'm an expert in.
Fatherhood.
Not even that. There's not many people who are experts in fatherhood.
Somebody order a bomb.
You can be my daddy.
I feel like I already have been all along.
Makes so much sense. Amnesiac has the Clockwork Goblin. I'm pretty sure that's what he's set up for. Probably going to just wait for a little bit of time. Trying not to just auto-slam and autopilot.
I wonder.
His curve seems pretty reasonable, honestly. Look at it. He's got a 3, 4, a 6, and a 7, so turn 5 seems to be his weakest point. But he can turn on the Jets as soon, like starting from this turn, shuffling 2 bombs.
Wonder.
If he doesn't, then he kind of just uses coin for almost no reason.
Yeah, I think that the biggest decision there is whether or not to trade.
Trade's good to stop the militia commander from getting an even higher value trade.
Yep.
Because then you never know. Should be fine though. Now Muzzy does actually have a choice. He can militia commander or he can Hecklebot.
Hecklebot is a significant risk because of just how many big threats Amnesiac has in the deck.
Yeah, you can pull Grom, can pull Alex. I mean, heck, even if it pulls Blastmaster Boom, still a big size move.
Yeah.
Amnesiac has the curve. The 4, 5, 6, 7. Harrison Jones would be nice to land on the weapon.
I'm curious if that's his game plan, though. I mean, his hand
What now?
is whispering in his ear, play all your stuff on curve. But Harrison Jones, he can feel free to draw cards in the matchup, because I feel like he's kind of the aggressor.
Yeah, I'd say so. Muzzy's the one that has the slower version, so Amnesiac has to be the one that's faster. Otherwise, he's going to fall really far behind as the game continues to grind on.
Yeah.
So from Muzzy's point of view, the Ziliax, the Hecklebot. What's so funny?
Just Muzzy's facial expression.
Yeah, he's a lot more expressive than I remember him.
Well, just the previous expression just stood out to me, Dan. It spoke to me in mysterious ways.
Shield block. Okay. So what's Muzzy trying to do here from your perspective with the shield block?
Draw a card and gain 5 armor.
Okay.
Get
Why
closer
that?
to Dr. Boom Mad Genius.
Okay.
I think that is the largest one. Maybe even if he's thinking an even deeper level, Dan, if he's going even further beyond, trying to pull the bombs out of his deck sooner rather than later, so that way the Blastmaster Boom is less effective.
I like that too.
So it has many reasons, Dan. But again, this is all just speculation. Whoa.
Amnesiac trying to go for the tempo plays. Omega Assembly to discover a mech. Does not want to play Harrison Jones. 5-4 is a lot stronger than a 2-2, but he wants to Harrison Jones for the inevitable weapon. And he cairns and Blastmaster Boom. Plus he had a chance of even discovering a Clockwork Goblin, which would have planted a bomb inside of Muzzy's deck, and we would have had 6 boom bots come out with the Blastmaster.
Those are all facts.
What now?
Muzzy still is kind of scared about this Hecklebot, because if he does pull the big thing out, he can't kill it immediately, so I think it's
Precision. Perfection.
Ziliax is a massive resource, though, to expend early on in the game. We've seen Ziliax kind of turn the tide of games in Warrior vs. Warrior Mirrors.
That Ranch Caliber was just a turn away. Like, I guess he would have forced Muzzy to play Harrison, which also wasn't exactly the best case scenario, and a bomb being.
Oh, Jack did not want to see that.
It's okay though, because he has Ranch Caliber.
He does have Rich Caliber, but he wanted to play Blastmaster Boom on turn.
That belongs in a museum.
Understandable, of course.
And now I think Amnesiac has to deviate this game plan a little bit. If he wants to play for
Harrison
tempo,
right back.
Harrison Shield
That
Slam
belongs
seems
in a museum.
very reasonable.
Well, this Karen's not going to die anytime soon if he shield slams this 5-4.
And I think that's a benefit, a big benefit.
Yeah, Karen can just keep punching for 4 and really keep that armor count in check. Another situational card here for Muzzy. Baleful Banker number 2, not going to do much. Could set up the Wrench Caliber. There's 1 bomb in Amnesiac's deck, so he could get 3 for the Blastmaster Boom on the next turn.
And he does know that this Wrench Caliber is going to stick because Muzzy only has 1 copy of Weapons Project in this secondary deck, And he used Harrison Jones, so he used both his weapon destruction just to cycle through the deck. So Wrench Calibers are juiced, ready, and online.
I wonder.
I'm ready for the juice, TJ. Muzzy has the Dynamatic, which you can play right now and kill off Harrison Jones or Karen, but it has to land perfectly. You could also just play like Beryllium Nullifier and try to get stats on the board.
Yeah.
Also, could just play the Boom Reaver. This is kind of one of those things where it's like, if you had a Mega Assembly on 10, you'd be like, wow, this is amazing. This is like the best. This is like one of the best Mega Assemblies you could ever have. Instead, only having to choose one. Kind of brutal without the Ziliacs, too.
Yeah, and that's why the Ziliacs was a big usage early on. Amnesiac has a clean kill on the Beryllium Nullifier, too, with Wrench Caliber plus Harrison. It is just a straight-up value trade, pushes 4 more damage.
What now?
None of his other plays seem super appealing. He does have the Acolyte of Pain Warpath combination, but it just doesn't match up well with this board at all. He could play Blastmaster Boom for low value. That doesn't seem very appealing either, especially with Wrench Caliber.
Yeah, my first thought is finding a way to use Warpath effectively because you have 2 of them. I don't think it's good because your Acolyte is odd costed. So I think I like Wrench Caliber and set up for a Blastmaster Boom.
What now?
Your opponent already used Weapons Project and Harrison. And it gives you like an actual curve game plan. I don't know if you play Acolyte though. That's like the only one caveat to it. So that's 2 bombs in Muzzy's deck.
Dos bombas.
Muzzy has Town Crier. So next turn, he could play the Hecklebot and Omega Devastator because he can guarantee a kill on any minion pulled. I don't know if Town Crier pulls a minion. I think it pulls the other Militia Commander.
Muzzy has played 1 Militia Commander and Ziliacs this game, so yes.
It works out fairly well. Town Crier, Militia Commander, Wrench Caliber. It's not great though because you lose 5 health and you're not really killing Karen. I mean, you're killing the first half of it, but there's still a 5 on the other side of the board. But it also gets you progress into making sure the board isn't that great. So I think you gotta do what you gotta do. Amnesiac, however, loves to see this. Now he can set up the Blastmaster Boom.
Oh, yeah.
And he gets to push him down to 16. This is looking closer to an Amnesiac victory.
Fully loaded.
I don't even know if Amnesiac even bothers attacking a minion with his weapon. He might just go face and send him down to 13 with the Blastmaster Boom bots. Maybe he even just attacks a 1-2 and then uses Warpath for the damage.
I wonder.
Ooh, that's interesting, Dan.
If the Boombot
I don't know why, because that's a potential lethal.
If the Boombots hit for 3 or 4 to the face, then you offset the damage with the bomb, plus that you have the weapon when you swing. I kind of want to see some fireworks.
Well, 3 bombs in the deck.
Yes. Do it. You know you want to.
Oh,
you
man.
know you want to.
Warpath is potential lethal, but then he also has another potential lethal if a bomb is drawn. But I guess if he just kind of leaves these bombs as is, it's still the same case. Muzzy still has to deal with it. I don't know, Dan.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we're not going to blame him for that choice, but
No,
it was the cool choice. Now there's no downside to Hecklebot, by the way.
That's right.
So-
But there's also no upside to it, outside of the 3/8 top body, of course. But
Sure.
like, he may want to be in a situation
Oh.
with Echobots and Pulse.
Galvanizer with this kind of hand is
One,
pretty
two,
nasty.
3, 4, 5 mechs being discounted.
What now?
Is there a way you can guarantee Dynamax to do something big? He does it. Dr. Boom Mad Genius not giving the rush. Pretty big deal, I'd say.
Yep.
So I think I like the Hecklebot and Omega Devastator combo that we were talking about.
Not in the same way that we were talking about.
Right. Bump, bump, and pray. Another bomb shuffled into the deck. 3 damage to the Hecklebot, and now
All right.
he's on a brawl to win the game.
All right.
He's on a brawl
has
to win
be
the game. He's on a brawl, and he's got the Wrench Caliber. I feel like that's almost very close to guaranteed lethal.
It's not if Hecklebot or Omega Devastator live and absorb a bunch of bombs.
Right.
There are. It's not guaranteed, but it's very high likelihood, especially considering he'd put another bomb in the deck and deal additional damage with the Wrench Caliber. So this is very close to guaranteed.
Boombot survives, which means it can deal damage to the face.
And Wrench Caliber for the win. Oh, he's gonna go for the Warpath for the win.
Style. I
Yeah.
like it. He's on a war path to victory. Game number 2, tied it up, Amnesiac. And we'll see if that momentum carries Amnesiac into a Game 3 comeback win. Both players looking for important W's here. Amnesiac's the lone representative in Tempo Storm. Muzzy, if he goes 0-2, joins Saiyan as the Radiance players that have yet to get a win, despite being 2 of the top players of their region.
Be a pretty disappointing start, but there's still a lot of Grandmasters left to play.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, in
Yeah.
this matchup specifically, you're pretty much just looking for Dr. Boom Mad Genius. It feels like it's such a high win rate card. Now, the other cards that kind of do similar things, right? Town Crier is something you're looking for in the mulligan because that draws a card from your deck, which gets you one card closer to Dr. Boom Mad Genius. So now Amnesiac, do you have Harrison Jones as an option in the mulligan? I don't know.
I think so. He had Alex Straza as an option.
And draws it right away.
Yeah. I mean, there's a couple ways to look at it logically. One, if you mulligan a card, you have a chance of drawing it, a card that you want. Harrison Jones is also another card draw. So if you're able to keep it and draw a few cards from the Harrison Jones, then you're getting closer to drawing Dr. Boom Mad Genius.
Yeah.
Another thing is that Amnesiac was able to put up a really nice curve last game. This weapons project works out really nicely. Now, Amnesiac and Clockwork Dome, then Weapons Project on 4, and then Harrison Jones. So things are working out okay for him. But over in Muzzy Land, he's got his pick of the litter. He's got 2 Militia Commanders, a Hecklebot, Dr. Boom Mad Genius, and Ziliax. So he's got very good reactive cards, some disruption as well. Town Crier is also good for Amnesiac here because it helps him weed out all the rush mains he wants to draw anyways.
Yes.
And he was about to snap call it. I mean, Amnesiac's told me a few times now that he like in the first 10 seconds he feels like he knows what he wants to do and kind of recognizes very clearly what's the play, but he's trying to like wait to discipline himself to like at least make sure that he's doing the right thing, because it's easy to get caught up in the card that you just drew or the card that's discovered for you, and then think like, okay, I have to do this immediately.
And also going to set up the Weapons Project here because currently he doesn't have a guaranteed next turn play. He doesn't want to play Militia Commander if Muzzy were to pass into nothing.
Yeah, the Harrison Jones setup.
Yeah.
Draw 2 cards. Doesn't matter if he hits the Wrench Caliber, he just wants to get closer to this boom. But the nice thing too is that Harrison comes down drawing 2 cards, but also establishes some tempo. It's not the most amazing one, but the way it's statted as a 5/4 makes it really inconvenient for both Militia Commander as well as Ziliac. The only clean answer is Dynamatic.
That belongs in a museum.
And I kind of wonder if that makes Amnesiac want to trade into this 2-2 or not. Probably does, because if he doesn't have Dynamatic, he's good to go. But if he did, Muzzy would make the trade anyways.
Also, yeah, I guess he doesn't want to give Muzzy the opportunity to play weapon removal, but
that's fair.
He does have a full hand, so I see your argument.
Yeah.
Because if he saves the weapon charge, that's 2 more damage efficiency, because Muzzy, if he wanted to play Dynamatic, would have to trade in anyway to guarantee that Dynamatic will kill.
Defend the gates!
Kind of irony of Muzzy's double Heckle Boss situation that he teched in. All of the heavy cards are in Amnesiac's deck that could punish him, really. And then Elysiana's in the deck. So, you know, with all these like rush minions being drawn and Town Crier and whatnot, there's a pretty decent chance Muzzy Heckle Bots the Elysiana.
Funnily enough.
Is this a coin Dr. Boom Mad Genius play?
I would assume so.
I'm so
Amnesiac so far in this series has not even seen his Dr. Boom Mad Genius.
Yeah, he's never seen a Dr. Boom Mad Genius, and he never will. Garrosh till the day he dies. Bronze Gatekeeper. Safeguard here is fairly good to stop Karen from potentially getting rushed down, and well, you just want to have a sticky minion. And like, it curves out really nicely. And then Garrosh, Alex Straza. In fact, Muzzy might build an armor count where he just shatters all the armor and then puts him down to 15 anyways. This might be another curve victory for Amnesiac, which is exactly what this tertiary deck is designed to do. It's designed to actually pressure and have a real game plan.
Hey, speak to me.
And Acolyte here makes it that Muzzy can't very cleanly hero power, so, you know, not that he was anticipating the Acolyte.
That's like a good situation for Amnesiac.
Right. Muzzy was ready in case the Alex Straza came out, because then he could hero power and shield slam.
And it's usually better to get your Heckle Bots out of the way early, because then you give your opponent less time to draw into the threats that you're trying to pull. In this case, Elysiana, specifically maybe the Baleful Banker or one of the bomb cards, the Clockwork Goblins.
Yeah, it's so interesting to me that, you know, the Mega Assembly usage has been so liberal, despite the fact that both these players are playing fairly greedy decks.
Yeah.
And I think because Amnesiac's forcing the issue, he's causing Muzzy to react, and it's like making him really uncomfortable. Bomb!
Bomb drawn.
And then now, Amnesiac can Grom rush in. Oh, wait, hold on.
He sees it! That's the
Dr.
first
Boom
time.
Mad Genius with the shield slam. Holy cow. And then Alex next turn, and then he Warpath Grom. It's lining up perfectly, TJ. I can't believe this is happening. This is like mid-range warrior. It's not even like control or bomb warrior. Like, yes, a bomb happened. And yes, he has like control-ish tools, but for the most part, he's just playing mid-range strategies.
There are a couple Kor'kron Elites in this bad boy.
Yeah. Might as well, but you only have 5 cards you can replace, and you put fairly aggressive cards.
Give me a Whirling Tempest, some Inner Rages, and a Raging Worgen.
Interesting. No Dr.
Defend the gates!
Here. I guess this does technically establish more board tempo.
Also, he sets up the Wrench Caliber, which gives him an opportunity for even more damage as the turns progress.
And it makes sense. I mean, it's more power on board. Dr. Boom Mad Genius doesn't develop anything. And if he Shield Slam, he still kept the same board. It's a 4-5, a 4-5, and a 1-3. This is just more damage on the board. In fact, is this a lethal setup? No, it's 14 damage. Brawl coming out here.
It was very close to a lethal setup then.
It is close. That's all that matters.
But there's still going to be a Bane left behind from this, and the Militia Commander, so still a significant amount of damage.
Yep.
So the post-Alex Straza damage, the pad for Amnesiac, going to hit 9.
Never go anywhere without your pad. Alex Straza. Muzzy's like, oh gosh, 13 damage plus 9.
And 2 bombs remaining left in the deck for Muzzy.
2 quick ones.
And even that, like without bombs, he's got Grom plus Warpath next turn. Dan, we could see a turn 10 warrior game here.
It's like timed so perfectly too, because Muzzy doesn't have the Omega Destroyer opportunity. And it's just looking really bad for him right now.
Then.
I'm liking the Alexstrasza Grom list a lot more now when I'm seeing it being teched in.
Now, still Omega Devastator plus Ziliax is a pretty big swing, but Amnesiac does have Dr. Boom Mad Genius plus Shield Slam with, yeah, that's game. Wait, no, not quite. Yeah, Warpath, Dr. Boom Mad Genius, Shield Slam. Yeah, Amnesiac's done it.
That is probably the quickest warrior game that we'll see.
Oh my goodness! I guess Omega Devastator works as well. I thought, for some reason, I thought he was going into 9 mana. But nonetheless.
Doesn't need Dr. Boom Mad Genius to close it up. That is going to wrap up this 3rd series of the day. Amnesiac gets his first win in the Grandmasters, and Muzzy